Gentlemen, you are teaching.
All right, so who here thinks they're an effective listener?
Oh boy.
Anybody think they're a good listener?
Chickens.
Ryan?
There you go.
Maddie.
Yeah.
Well, last Friday night, we all went to the homecoming game.
And then we had a surprise birthday party. Me and Michael. We had
Michael showed up.
My
My boy Mason
was
there.
Yeah. So, did you understand
Yeah.
what Riker was saying?
Not at all.
So, anybody think you're an effective listener?
Anyone know what color my socks were that day?
White.
White? Best listener in the room.
I only have 1 ear.
Riker, he said it.
It's one lucky guess.
You are not an effective listener.
Oh, that's harsh.
And we're gonna teach you how to be an effective listener.
Harsh.
Kahoot!
Everyone have their
Uh-oh.
Chromebooks?
Oh!
Yeah, you can
Or
use
your
your
phones.
phone, Chromebook.
We don't recommend it for Ryan.
Let me grab my.
Anyone like Laffy Taffy?
Yes, sir.
Except he's stuck in my brain.
Are you an effective listener, Ryan?
Except for it's stuck in my brain.
Ryan.
We'll see.
Hey, I didn't know
Banana.
what I was supposed to
When using your phone, actually play Kahoot, please.
Yeah, Ryan.
Isabel.
Let's use a school appropriate answer.
Or
Yeah,
not, I
school
don't care.
appropriate.
Yeah,
You
Mr.
know
Rose.
Just shut up.
We're not doing rather read.
It's pretty. Somebody always likes
Make sure don't block us. Who's Rye? Kick him out.
He's not upset.
Oh, no.
Man, where's the background?
I don't like how we didn't start talking to Alon. Like I was like,
Dog, man.
Hey, we're good.
Ready?
Everyone ready?
Alright.
Dog, man. Like,
Listening effectively. Would you like me to read you the questions?
Yes.
Yes, read you the questions?
Just the sound of your voice calms it.
What is the first A of active listening?
Just take
yeah,
it.
move your head.
Can you guys see? Just take a guess.
No,
A gander.
I
We
got
will
2
teach
melons
you-
in my way.
We will teach you these topics later. Just take a gander.
Let's go back by the wall. There you go.
The first A of active listening is attention, and that is like kind of between the difference between hearing and listening, because if you're just hearing, you're not really kind of just overhear it, but listening is like you're engaged and your attention is to that person.
We're
That's how
listening to you right now. We hear the air exchange unit when it's on. If you're listening to that and it's giving you thoughts, you need help.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So, attention is the first A of active listening.
Good job.
That's a great guess, everybody. Natalie, you are.
Cheater.
True or false? The second A to active listening is assess.
This thing is so.
Ryan,
I pushed that.
Ah!
Let's go. Hey, I'm on.
I'm just saying that is not what he's supposed to.
Pull. Why? See that, guys?
Cheater.
Somebody get him out of there.
The second A to active listening is actually attitude, because if your attitude is bad, you're not gonna like focus, or you're gonna be like, in your head, you're gonna be like, oh, this sucks, and it's gonna be negative, and you're gonna be pretty judgmental, and then that just puts your mind, it's just like you're not gonna be listening as much and everything, right?
What does assess even mean? Or assess? Or whatever that word was.
Just don't even worry about that word.
Yeah,
That's
that's
wrong.
like-
That's not one of the 3 A's.
We're asses, by the way.
What is the third A of active listening?
Can't see it. Eat your melon.
Mason's big head.
You know what? I face this.
Wow, you guys are treading territory I've never studied before. You're catching me off guard.
We'll teach you.
Yes.
The third A of active listening is adjustment, and that's because like you don't really know what the speaker's gonna say, so you're gonna have to be kind of flexible with them. If they say something wrong, you can't be like, oh, and then just like not
Yeah.
listen. So you gotta have to be kind of like flexible and like kind of like go along with them. If that makes sense.
Next question, leaderboard.
Ryan.
That should not be happening.
Yost. you
How can you
cheat.
tell if someone is listening effectively during a speech?
Well, I don't know on this one. That you people can stare right at your teachers and you hear nothing they're saying. Don't tell me I'm lying. You look right at some of you are even professionals. You'll nod your head and you have no clue what they just said.
A lot of people, they'll just, when you're not listening and you're talking to them during a speech or anything, they'll just nod their head trying to act like they're listening. But if they'll be smiling and just nodding their head or on their phone, then that's how you tell they're not listening. So if they have eye contact, like if I look around and during a speech and I see I'm making eye contact with everybody I look at, I can tell they're listening to me.
Leaderboard. Someone kick Ryan off of there. Next question. The best way to engage a listener and keep them interested is to.
I'm so good at this.
Legend in your own mind.
Right answer.
Not good here?
Thank you for not making us listen to the music in this game.
You don't like it?
Turn up the music.
No. Hate it. If it was Coldplay.
So, you really want to, for improvising the whole speech, that would not be a good idea. So you walk up there and say I just start talking and you guys aren't listening to me because you have no clue what I'm talking about because I don't even know what I'm talking about. Or if I talk really fast like this, it's hard to listen to me because you don't really know what I'm saying. So you want to keep them interested and have them listening, you want to like relate to a recent event during your speech and have them understand what you're saying and kind of like be intrigued.
Leaderboard. Ryan's got an answer. Next question. The best way to intrigue a crowd is
Put, come on, man.
I was waiting.
You were doing so good.
That brought her
Oh, see what you did? Then I got it
I
wrong.
turned it. What?
How can I listen?
Ineffective.
Yeah. I'll take. You can't. Can you not? You know. Listen
It's
to what-
audio biased. I'm the only idiot that got it wrong. God.
Since you got it wrong, answering every question during like anything, it can be good with a small crowd, but if you're giving a presentation in a crowd of like 3,000 people and say they're like fans of you, they'll have thousands of questions and it will make it very uninteresting for everybody
What if you
else.
prelude when you're doing your ethos and you tell them, I'll be available for questions afterwards as it comes through that, but if you have a bending question that you really want answered, please stop me during the keynote.
Yeah, that's why answering like a lot of questions is good, but trying to answer every single question.
Okay, it did say every.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
I
will
was
dis-
distracted by the music.
It will distract from
It's
your
off.
speech.
No.
Blink it out.
Okay.
Effective listening. Blink it out.
Leaderboard.
You shut up.
But allowing the comments is good.
Yost cheat.
So-
I've fallen off the list.
He's the only one off.
All right. Next question.
Oh god, I'm getting nervous.
Which form of listening deals with friends and family?
Oh, God.
What is relationship?
I better not got this.
Oh, someone.
What is relationship?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, it's not me. I invented
What?
I know.
Spell check.
I know how to spell. You guys
This
obviously
is
don't know how to spell.
relationship, Ryan, I wouldn't talk about spelling for you. This is relationship listening. You can obviously, friends and family, you can kind of tell like, it won't be the other two because relationship, you build those relationships with your friends and family and that's when you're talking to them, listening to them. And empathetic listening, that is with therapists, school counselors, marriage counselors, those are those type of people. And appreciative listening is stuff that you like watching TV and listening to stuff that's kind of pleasing to you.
Oh my god.
I'm back.
Killing all you guys. Ryan's still at the top. I don't like that.
Somebody knock his phone out of his hand.
True or
Get a
false?
better grip.
Hearing is unintentional while listening is intentional.
Wow, wait, hearing is unintentional. Oh, dude, I'm gonna screw this one up.
I already know the answer.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you have to-
This guy, bro. Why is he at the top of the leaderboard, bro?
Yes!
So this goes back to what Michael said about the attention, where you can hear stuff in the background, like you can hear mumbling, but listening is actually you're paying attention. You want to listen to these people.
You ever had a mosquito or a fly in your room?
That was
Or a
like-
cricket that got in the house? That's hearing. You're not actually trying to decipher the sound with an intent to understand and mean what the thing's saying.
Yeah.
But it's like, you have to focus. How many of you guys can effectively listen? And I mean this when I say this. How many of you think you can effectively listen for a solid 30 seconds?
When I want to, yeah, for sure.
It's hard. That's good.
I have backup.
That's good. It's work.
My spider cage, I have crickets in there every single night,
Yeah.
so they're going nuts. So I am so good at just shutting the crickets and bugs
Question:
out.
if you don't have any crickets and there's silence, is that harder for you? Sometimes because you're so used to listening to the crickets, it's become part of your life, your routine.
Yeah, it's weird because sometimes my TV seems like it'll be the same volume,
Okay.
but it will seem so much louder.
Gotcha. Because the crickets aren't there.
Yeah.
Mikey.
I don't know if this applies, but like a fan during the night, I sleep
I
with the
just-
fan on
So do I.
every night, and when it's off or if there's like no noise, it's almost like hard for
Yeah,
me to
when the
sleep.
power goes on.
You know the worst? When you have power failure. When the power
Yeah,
goes
and,
out.
and you wake right
You
up.
wake right up.
Yeah,
I-
you wake right up.
I need
That-
that noise and a fan.
And a
Fan
fan.
Perfect
definitely is-
example. Perfect.
Yep.
Cool.
Listening,
I don't think I'm first, but.
listening effectively is.
Oh, really?
You
Barely.
have to be a good. You have to when you're listening, the person you're listening to, it really relies on them how effective you can listen. Because if you're listening to somebody that has zero communication skills and isn't making eye contact, it's really hard to listen to them. So that's a really big part of listening.
You ready for a
Having
question I'm
someone
going to put
listen.
right at you, Mr. Maury?
Yeah, what's the question?
Do most people listen to respond or to understand?
Most people listen to respond.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it's my grandma. That's all she does. She'll sit there and then she'll just completely change the topic because she wasn't listening. She's just thinking about what she wants to say next.
Next question. What is not an example of appreciative listening?
All right, this is a tough one. You get 25% chance. Appreciative listening.
6 seconds. 5, 4,
Four.
3, 2, 1.
No!
What?
So
Only one.
Did you get right?
Did you get right?
You got some explaining to do.
appreciative listening is stuff that is pleasing to you, like watching TV or listening to your favorite music and reading a book, not like reading a chemistry textbook, but like reading your favorite book. Listening to a teacher is informational listening, when you're listening solely to receive information and just understand what they're saying.
Like
as
what you're
opposed
doing
to-
right
With that explanation, I can see that.
You probably got that right.
The rest of them is more like stimulating your brain for a little bit as
Oh,
opposed to getting.
not
got it
TV.
My phone keeps shutting off.
Who got it right?
Yeah, who did it?
Not me. Spencer with the big name.
Hornets! Come on!
I was way behind.
Yeah,
All right, next question.
Come on, Maddie.
Whoa. Spencer got that.
Multi-select.
What is one thing listening effectively has a strong link?
Multi-select is like you select multiple and then you can submit it. So if you think there's more than one,
So there's
answer-
more than one, not just.
What it has a strong link with.
Dude, that's cool. I've never seen somebody do that. I definitely am right.
It just called me pure genius. I better have this right.
3, 2,
If you get it right, I'll give you a laugh taffy right now.
Done.
Give me my tap feet.
Come on.
I had all three of those.
Which one?
That's mine.
Nice curveball.
I
man.
did
Did you click
No, I didn't get any of the 3 rounds.
leaderboard.
I just only clicked 2.
He's coming back.
All right, next question.
Yes, sir.
True or false? Effective listening makes you a better leader.
I'm clicking it. It's zooming.
Oh, too bad.
It's too slow.
This one is pretty obvious.
Blame the tap.
Listening
It
to,
was,
if you're a leader, listening to those that are looking up to you will help you like
We're better together than we are separate.
Being a good leader means you have to be a good follower too. So you got to be able to listen to people below you so you can lead them.
What do you guys look, and this might be off topic from this chapter, what do you personally see in a leader that you follow?
Compassion.
Somebody that can
Compassion.
take in information and be able to like, I want to say like utilize it, but not be like a jerk about it. Like some people that are like our leaders, not only will not use your information, but if they see that they're like not wrong, but like just not right about
Okay.
something, then they're just gonna be a jerk about it.
Mikey?
Have you seen those? This is a picture that I've seen before, and it's like the leader of like a wolf pack or whatever, and they're never in the front. They're not like actual leading. They're actually in the back to make sure like no one falls behind, and like to make sure like everyone's like there and basically with them. And it's not like the top person. Like the wolf isn't like the first person. It's the last to make sure everyone's following and doing what they're supposed to.
That's a cool one. I've seen that. That's good. Mace?
I like the alpha, you know, how he's in the back. He's
Right.
everybody.
I think confidence and positivity is a big part of it. Because you can't be super negative as a leader, or else no one's going to want to follow you or do anything that you do.
You know what I love about Cahoon? He doesn't yell, doesn't scream, doesn't belittle. But I've heard his athletes and even his students, man, I got the look. And he gives you that look of disappointment that really bothers, because he runs, his family runs, he walks the walk that he's talking, he knows what to do, he's got the reputation, you guys know he's here. I like to call him quiet strength. It's just amazing to watch him in action. He, to me, is somebody that I would follow. Because I've always said, nobody just leads me. I don't care what your title is or something, it's all through action. I choose who I will follow in my life. So it's interesting hearing the different concepts.
Something he tells us all the time for being a good leader is you can control two things, your attitude and your effort. He says that all the time.
He always tells us that.
He's right. How do you argue that?
We don't argue. He does yell though. I got.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I could see anybody. I could see the Pope yelling at you.
Yeah,
Not like
yelling.
stupidly.
He would never call you stupid. What?
But, like,
Give me an example.
He never belittles. Yes, he's
Yes.
very patient, but I have gotten him to yell. Like he has.
Did you do it on purpose just to see if you could get him?
There's a couple times where I lost.
Here it comes.
Never mind. Leaderboard.
You're a
I'll
piece
tell
of
that
work.
story later. Someone kicked mine off. True or false? Effective listening does not make a better impression on employers. See, Ryan. It's like Ryan's trying.
Oh, I might have got this one wrong.
Ryan's copy.
I can't process that. I just couldn't process it.
Okay. Leaderboard.
I did that to try to
Oh yeah.
make you a little
Oh yeah.
better of a reader.
Down the leaderboard.
Come on, Maddie. We can get him. Come on, Maddie.
Hey, I'm almost a question ahead.
Hey.
Next question.
Alright, there's still
Which is a type of nonverbal communication?
What's the type of nonverbal?
Yes.
That was nonverbal
I got him.
communication.
Let's go.
You're frustrated by the slap on the table.
So this is my trick. This is my trick.
That was a
question.
body language gesture.
Snapping your fingers is actually considered verbal communication. I know it's not coming out.
Whoa. How do you do verbal? But
Yeah,
it's
I read about it and it's.
how would you tie that in with?
considered- don't
I
know.
could understand audio.
I think it's the noise and like,
I think it's because it's just coming from your body.
Morse code.
but
ACT test.
talking and yawning is obviously not.
Yeah, but hold on a second. I want you to think for a second. You guys are up here. You're doing this presentation, and I'm constantly. Doesn't that tell you I'm bored? Non-verbally. I didn't say, "Hey, I'm bored." I'm yawning.
I can hear you
Yawning
yawning.
should be a
Oh.
part of the body language.
Leave me
Go.
alone, bro.
As long as he's getting it wrong.
Body language and gestures. All right.
Wait, it wouldn't yawning be body language?
That's why I'm arguing.
Ryan, you're
Dude,
the
stay
most
with me.
effective listener.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
I'm just worried about where I'm at.
Leaderboard. Come on.
Yeah, Maddie!
Let's go.
I'm only down by 3 points.
Come on, get him.
Here we go.
Hey, if you get one right, you're going.
All right,
ahead of me.
next
I
question.
lost my streak.
When asking an open-ended question, what should you say? This is the hard question.
Ryan's had a no.
Oh my god. See, once I get one wrong, I just don't know what to do.
Genius machine.
Okay, so you notice how these other three,
You're in first.
they're like really strong, like straightforward. When you're asking an open-ended question, say this person giving an interview, and you say this to them, it's not open-ended. You're straight up like, we should do this. Why not this? And then you're wrong. How about this? You're like not
Just,
attacking.
but look at those 4 things. As a student yourself, if an instructor uses those terms, which one do you want to be add the most? It's a no-brainer. Hey, you guys, what do you think about maybe moving this from the syllabus to over here to give you more time? As opposed to, you're wrong, that's staying there, blah, 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 blah.
It's just a more
Compassion.
friendly, open-ended question.
Bingo.
So dumb, guys.
Are you bored?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh my god. Next question.
Ryan, a couple questions
Let's
ago.
go. When giving your feedback, what is the best way?
Spit on the screen.
Oh, I might have moved out. No, I didn't read them all. Are you kidding
Right,
me?
Chance?
No.
Did I get right though?
I
don't know
screwed
if I got
this
it.
up.
Oh
Yup.
my god.
I think you.
Alright, obviously, when giving feedback, you want to be positive and non-threatening.
Wasn't enough.
Sam, an interview, he asked a question about the leaf blower this weekend. I'm going to give him a positive example of how
Dude, the positive, you didn't have to say that. You have 2.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, I'm going, I bought the right one.
Obviously, you don't want to spit on a speaker or engage in physical action.
Dude, I sure Patty won. Did you actually win?
Second, I can live with second place to Manny.
Spencer got third.
Go Spence.
I got 4 points.
Hey, alright, so
Go Manny. Go Manny.
Nice shot, Maddie. She is an effective listener. She showed us wrong.
She was out for revenge.
I was winning until the 13th point. The whole entire time I was winning.
Dude, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
I just, once I get one wrong, I was like,
I hope you all learned about effective listening today. I hope you could apply it to classroom, family, anything like that.
I won that.
No, you did not.
I won 90% of that.